one of the things you notice about children, for example, is if children don't get enough good attention, they'll certainly go after bad attention because the fundamental human currency is attention. And it's one thing to be hated, but it's another thing entirely to be ignored. And I would say, generally speaking, if you put people in a corner and you made them choose, you know, if they had knowledge that was transparent to themselves, you said, well, would you rather be ignored or hated? They'd take hated, because at least then you exist, because you exist, at least in some part, in your relationship to other people. And so some of the bad behavior is rewarded precisely for that reason, is that it does draw attention, and that does make you signify. I mean, you think about the people who do heinous crimes, like the school shooters, people like that, who do these things that are almost inconceivable. A huge part of the drive for that is fantasies about notoriety and the emergence from obscurity and anonymity. Even though it's notorious, it's hatred, the idea is, I'd rather be dead and infamous than alive and anonymous.
Yeah, which, by the way, you, I think, were one of the first websites to say, we're not going to publish these people's names, because then we're giving them exactly what they want.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there have been, I don't want to take credit as like the first, because there are several, their names escape me, but there are other people who have been promoting this for a while. But yeah, I was late to it. We should have done it earlier.
And I talked to the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation about that about 10 years ago, about the idea that publicizing the names of these killers is precisely one of the mechanisms that ensures that it will continue to happen, and there's no doubt about that. Now, how to mitigate against that is very complicated.
Well, I mean, and that does tie to a deeper conversation. Did you see this study that was from the CDC that came out that, again, for the second straight year, life expectancy in the United States dropped? So you had consistent life expectancy increases in the United States for 150 years, and now, for the first time in modern American history, life expectancy has now dropped for 2 years in a row. And that's specifically due to two phenomena. One is the increase in heroin overdoses, and the other is suicide. Suicide is now at record rates in the modern era, and we had 70,000 heroin overdoses, opiate overdoses last year. I think it was 50,000 the year before. And so you're starting to see life expectancy decline. There's a crisis of meaning. And that's why, and I think that part of the resistance to, particularly, I think, Jordan, but I think also to me and to anyone else in the IDW who's at least searching for meaning, is that the left has been saying for a long time that we found the meaning, right? The meaning was do what you want to do. The meaning was no responsibility, do what you want to do. That's the meaning. The meaning is rebelling against the system. And when it turns out that a lot of people don't find meaning in that there is, in my perspective, a God-shaped hole in people's heart that is being filled by hatred and polarization and tribalism.
Or that you just can't do it forever. No one can maintain that level forever of trying to tear everything down all the time.
Well, it's also,
right?
there's nothing in it, especially as your opponent weakens.